So I got out my notes and I got ready to start my vlog. I've got my camera set up, and then my notes were taken hostage. Yeah, that's what you did. You took them hostage. Are you going to let me use them? Okay, so in a minute we'll get to it. This is my first vlog. I wasn't sure how I wanted to set this up, so I decided that I'm just going to paint in my sketchbook while you watch. My name is Christy. I'm a self-taught mixed media artist. My channel doesn't appear that way yet. It's still in transition. You'll notice a lot of scrapbooking videos. You might also hear my cat coming back to talk because she thinks I'm talking to her. I'm not sure if the mic's picking her up. Anyway, previously this was a scrapbooking and crafts channel, and then it went dormant for a very long time. I used to work on a few design teams and make craft samples for different companies. Some of that work appeared on their websites and social media, and I don't have that anymore, but some of the work appeared on my channel. So going forward, I hope to someday return to scrapbooking. I'll get into the why I'm not doing that so much anymore a little bit later on in the video. But for now, I really want to focus on my art. And I've been doing that over the past year or so. I've been trying to practice more intentionally and trying to expand my skills and actually come about in developing several art series. This has all led me to ask myself whether or not this is an art business. Am I going to be a professional artist, or am I still just going to practice it as a hobby? And if I am going to take my art seriously and practice more in the professional sense, what is that going to look like for me? I started watching a lot of videos about what other artists were doing with their channels as far as monetizing their art, monetizing their business, how they're selling, how they're getting into galleries, what types of calls they're answering. It started me really thinking about the types of goals that I wanted to set for myself. One of the people that I looked at was Ann Livingston. She's around the same age that I am. I was inspired to make this vlog like her. But as far as content for vlogs go, I don't know that I want to do them as frequently as she does. I definitely want to do more vlogs, but a weekly vlog basis might be too much for me. And I think mine might be more centered around certain topics. I also on this channel want to share just paint along videos, what I'm doing in my practice, tips, tutorials, that sort of thing. I may expand the types of content I'm doing further outward as I go forward, and I may return to scrapbooking again. I just got a little burnt out in the scrapbooking industry. It's been very hard for me to come back to scrapbooking as a hobby. A lot of the time, well, I guess I could say the closest I could consider to it is that it's like you're doing a commission. They're giving you a topic, they're telling you the supplies, the motifs, the colors that they want you to use on the page. Sometimes they're even giving you a page map or a sketch to follow. It was very directed. And after doing a lot of that for a long time, I just couldn't pick up my scissors anymore. It felt boring. I felt like I needed to take a break from it. I was no longer feeling inspired. I definitely want to come back to scrapbooking as a hobby, but I'm also struggling with a lot of the supplies that I'm seeing out there. They're just not sparking my interest right now. And perhaps it's going to be time to do something that I wanted to do for a long time and try to make my own supplies. But for now, I'm really more focused on my mixed media art. One of the things that I think burnt me out was doing affiliate marketing and sponsor work, and it became sort of a set of mental gymnastics to complete that. And I wanted to really work on my own stuff and my own products, but I was always working with somebody else's for somebody else's stuff. For that reason, I'm going to really limit, as far as monetizing my own channel, I'm going to limit affiliate marketing and sponsorship. I'm also not going to take commissions. I really just want to do my own thing. I really just want to have fun with what I'm doing and enjoy myself and focus on honing my own skills. And I don't know that I can necessarily do that if I'm focusing on sponsorship or commissions. That being said, if the right sponsor came forward, perhaps with paint or something like that, I might consider it. I'm never going to say never, but for the most part, I think on my channel, as far as monetizing, I'm not really going to be looking for affiliate or sponsors, and I'm not going to be taking commissions. One of the ways that I had gotten burnt out when I was doing affiliate and sponsored work was in taking the time to put in all of the affiliate links. It can be very time consuming. I think for an art page, it might be less time consuming than for a scrapbook page. The difference being with scrapbooking, there would be specific brand lines of paper or ribbon or specific embellishments, and that led to me having to individually put in links on each page for a whole different set of stuff. And it just took a ton of time. And then over time, that line wouldn't be available anymore. And people would want to know what alternative products were available that were similar. And I'd have to go and research that. So it was very time consuming and very specific. I guess, and I've been going back and forth if I am going to do this. One way that I could monetize would be to put one resource page in with general links to the types of paints I prefer. Even that can get a little difficult though, because I've noticed over the years, I've lived in multiple countries, and what is available to me at my local store may not be necessarily available to you at your local store. And also with being a mixed media artist, you kind of just take all different types of products, all different types of brands, and you learn what the properties of those items are, and you use those as tools within your artwork. So we'll see whether or not I end up putting a resource page in. But again, I'm not really going to focus heavily on affiliate marketing or sponsorship for my page or my YouTube channel. So what am I going to do? What would the business look like? I've looked at a few things that other artists are doing, both on YouTube and on blogs and websites. And there are two particular models that I think will work well for me, and that will be relatively passive or more relaxed, because that's what I'm looking for. Something that is passive and relaxed and gives me freedom. So the first thing is something a friend of mine has done. She essentially follows whatever suits her fancy. If that's working with clay, that's what she does. If it's painting, she does that. And she really focuses on what excites her for her art practice and expanding her skills. When she's completed a body of work, she will then go to a channel like Etsy or her own website, and she will sell any work that her friends and family don't want. So what she does have for sale as far as her original work changes according to what she feels like doing. And that is the type of freedom that I would like to have. As far as selling my original artwork, I do have the option of trying to do that on my own. I am going to try to get gallery representation. I'm mostly looking at galleries online. And as that develops, I will share that with you here on the channel. Otherwise, the second thing that I really noticed in my research and looking at various artists throughout YouTube, a great majority of them talked about how that while it is nice to sell your original artwork, there is only one piece of that original artwork, and not everyone can afford it. People still want to support you, but they may need to do so on a budget. So a lot of artists offer things like art prints, t-shirts, postcards, stickers, home good peripheral items like that. So I am going to look at different options for ways that I can offer that as well. And the great thing about those is that depending on what I choose, that can become a form of passive income. One of the recent things I've discovered in my art practice is that I love painting on fabric. I want to incorporate that more into my practice, and I also want to try fabric collage. To that end, I started exploring making my own fabric design. I had thought a little bit about making my own designs when I was scrapbooking, and some of what I designed for the fabric, I might also put into scrapbooking later. I'm going to do a separate video about my journey through making my own fabrics and materials that I can use in my art practice, and how that can also be a way that I can monetize some of those supplies for passive income. My goals right now are to expand my YouTube channel. Currently, I'm sitting at 212 subscribers. I don't know how many of those are actively listening. The statistics are kind of low. And again, that's mostly because my channel's been dormant. I appreciate that those people have still stayed subscribed. I did have a larger subscriber count at one point, and it went down once the channel became dormant. So my first goal is just to hit 1,000 subscribers. I am applying to residencies, but I am going to focus more on residencies that are online or local to me. I don't think that I have the time or energy at my age to try to explore something that's far from home. I don't want to be away from my family. So to that end, if I can't find something local or online, I would like to develop my own home residency program or course of study for myself. And I will share that journey with you through vlogs on this YouTube channel. I am applying to calls both for magazines and for online and in-person exhibitions. I've had mixed success with that, and in a lot of cases, they just come back with an offer for me to pay to do an interview or something else that just feels kind of weird and sort of scam adjacent. So I don't know if they're trying to do anything malicious, but it just doesn't feel right. I'll continue exploring calls, but my other goal is to try to do an online exhibition of my own. I've been researching options to do that, and if that's something I end up pulling off, I will definitely share that here. I am also hoping to collaborate with other artists. I've reached out to a few in person, and I've also tried to join community online. Currently, I've joined the Surface Design Association, which is for textile artists, and I am hoping that that will help me get some of the community that I'm looking for, help me with critique of my work, and help me to expand in my artwork in multiple ways. I think my challenges are going to be something that remains the same throughout my art practice. Namely, time is of an issue for me. I have so many projects I want to do and not enough time to do them. I have a lot of videos that I've created and I just need to find the time to edit. I have blog posts I want to write. So many things and just not enough time. My other issue is space. I share my creative space with my family. I have a small corner of a room in our apartment, and I am really struggling with storage of my art materials, storage of paintings that I've completed, trying to figure out how I want to configure things. I'll be sharing more of that with you through the vlogs in the future, and it's just going to be something that over time, these challenges, I'll have to find different ways of adapting to them. Meanwhile, I guess I'm just starting with a list. I've made a list of the videos I need to edit. I'm starting to organize my thoughts for future projects and art series. And all of that will at some point hopefully be here on the channel. Meanwhile, I encourage all of you to go out and create something. Creating something every day is very good for your mental health, and I hope it's something you do.